Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our wonderful uh, collaboration, High Altitude Yoga. I'm Danielle Fazio, and Yoga Moves Us. And we are here today for a myofascial release and yoga class. And before we get started, just like we do every week, thank you again to Yoga Moves Us. Please only do what you're comfortable doing. I'm going to lead you through some exercises that can be a little bit vigorous, but I'm also going to lead you through some self-massage techniques called self-myofascial release with some props, as well as just using your own body. And I want you to take a few moments at the beginning of class. We'll do a little breathing and kind of tap into where you're at today to bring some awareness to your body, and that way when we get to these poses, we are going to be working on sort of the back side of our body today. We're going to do some hips, some stuff for the back, and subsequently just the entire back line of fascia to help release any tension we're holding on to the back side of our body, which, let's be honest, tends to get a little bit less attention, both in the gym, on the mat, and off the mat these days, especially when we're here, if we're lifting here, or, really, we just do a lot of forward movement. So before we do that, let's go over our tools. You don't have to have any of these, but I'm going to give you some alternatives. If you do, you have a chance to go grab them. The first and most important thing that we're going to have today is some sort of rolling stick. So I use this one. This is from Rad Rollers. I love their tools. I can send a link out to if you're interested in getting some for yourself. But again, you don't have to have one of these. I like this because there's separate movement, so I can hold it here and the inside of it spins. But you know what this is a lot like? One of these. Okay? Everybody's been doing quarantine baking. You most likely have something that's like this at home. This is one of your best friends in the house. In fact, if you like to foam roll at the gym, but you don't have a foam roller at home, rolling pin right here, right now. Go grab one. We're going to use this today. Okay? The second thing we're going to use today is some sort of a strap. Okay, I brought my Manduka strap because it's the world's longest one that I don't, their straps are for 10 feet tall people. Anyway, grab yourself something you can use as a strap. I love towels. Towels work great. Old cleaning rags, if you have an old pool size or just bath size towel, before you throw it away, cut it up into strips. Be okay that it frays. Use it for a prop. It works wonders. And then the last thing we're going to use, we're probably not going to do a whole lot of the ball work that we've been doing in the last couple of weeks, but we're going to use the block that all of my Rad Rollers came with. Okay, it's a nice little puzzle right here, all them together. I'm going to use the block today. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. It's not mandatory. If you have just some dish towels or something, you can kind of bind it together. We just want something that we're going to put in between our legs in a couple poses today to activate the inner thighs. Again, if you don't have it, don't worry about it. Water bottles also work great. Okay, so let's take a couple of moments just to get settled, get ready for our practice today. Move the props on over to the side. I'm going to bring mine to the head of my mat where I like to start my practice. Have the sun in my eyes today. You guys, it's like a balmy 103 or something like that here today. Pretty sure it's still that temperature right now. So we're calling this hot yoga today. And let's get nice and comfy. If you do have a block, you're welcome to sit yourself up on your block and get yourself nice and comfy right here. Okay, just up on the edge. We're going to take a couple of breaths. The nice thing about this option is if your hips are tight, it gives you some flexibility to just release the hips a little bit. Hips are a lot of times tied to lower back tightness in addition to a lot of other things like knee pain. So this is a good place to start. Okay, folded up towel works as well. We're just going to start with about 3 big full breaths together. Again, taking inventory of where you're at today. Okay, so let's release any stale air in the body. And then take a really nice big breath in through the nose. And then open the mouth like you're fogging up a window. Breathe it out. And feel everything melt. Take a breath in between. And then we're going to do that again. So releasing any stale air in the body. Take an exhale right here. And then big inhale through the nose. Maybe closing the eyes this time if you haven't already. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Take one breath in between. And last big inhale breath through the nose. A little tickle in the back of the throat, getting sort of a little bit of that ujjayi, that deep, deep breath that we do during yoga. Big exhale through the mouth. Good. And finish your exhale. Let the breathing return to normal. Take a couple of shoulder circles right here. One direction and then another. And let's get right to it. Okay. So if you have a block, if you were using one or some other prop, move it within reach but off to the side. Let's come all the way laying down onto our mats. Okay, so from right here, go ahead and tuck the right knee in towards your belly and extend the left leg flat. Okay, and the left leg isn't going to be floppy right here. We're pretending like we're digging it into a little pile of sand, so it's really active. Take an inhale breath here. And then as you exhale, this bent leg is going to come around your rib cage, giving you the space you need to continue breathing. And you can even wrap both hands around if you like. A couple big breaths right here, perhaps circling out that top ankle. Switch directions. Soften the shoulders and jaw. Take another inhale breath. Start to pull the knee back to center. And then as you exhale, bring the knee all the way across the body for a twist. Inhale, the right arm up. Maybe hips are stacked here if that feels good. And then as you exhale, open up to the side. Gaze can follow fingertips if that feels good in your back. If it doesn't, I want you to look in the same direction as your knee. Take a big breath here. And then on the next inhale, come back to center. Okay. Grab a hold of both knees, and before we go into the other side, just make some big circles right here. So knee comes out, in, and around. Switch directions. I like to think of these as egg beaters. Okay. Remember those old-fashioned things we used to use instead of all these high-tech KitchenAid mixers? Hands up if you still have one of those, because they're amazing. Okay, so our knees are kind of like that. And then extend the right leg flat onto the ground. Dig the heel into the sand. Take an inhale breath right here. Maybe both hands on the shin. Exhale, knee around the rib cage. Give yourself that space to breathe. And then start to circle out the ankle. Soften the shoulders onto the ground. Okay, you're pulling just enough to feel a stretch right here, but not so much that you are tensing up the shoulders. Good, and inhale, breath. Pull the knee back to center. Exhale all the way over to the side, twisting in the other direction. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, open it up again. Option to gaze toward those fingertips if it feels okay on the back. If it doesn't, we're going to look in the same direction. Nice big inhale, breath here. Exhale, breath here. And inhale back to center. This time, hug the knees in and rock up and down on the spine. Just giving yourself a little back massage. Take a couple of rocks, and when you're ready, cross the ankles, come all the way up and through to a tabletop position, centering yourself on your mat. So give yourself some space to move. Okay, from here, right away, take the right foot, extend it back. Go ahead and push through the heel. Get a little calf stretch right here. Nothing too big, not any heavy bouncing. And then this other foot, we're going to flatten out onto the toenail. So we're really going to relax this calf back here. Then we're going to pick up the right one and cross the shin over the left calf. Okay, so one more time. Shin over calf, maybe an inch or so under the knee joint. Okay, just a little bit down and under behind the knee. And then sit back. Okay, how far you sit back is entirely up to you. Okay, the further you push back, the more intense this is going to be. So just take it to your level, inhale back up, come down an inch or so, and exhale lower. And everybody's tight spot where you go and have to back off a little bit is going to be different. Okay, runners and cyclists, this is a phenomenal way to torture yourself after doing a big long bike ride or a big long run. I would maybe recommend allowing some of that post run and bike swelling to come down after a big workout, and then maybe doing a very gentle version of this. Good. Make your way up and down the calf, so down, and then make your way back up. Okay. Don't want to come too much into this little ankle space back there. Doesn't feel too hot. And then once you've made your way down and back up the calf, two options here. So if you have any kind of plantar issues, I want you just to take your toes from the right foot to the left right here and do a little lean back, and then think about like grating cheese, okay? Sort of like grating the bottom of your foot with your toes. If you have monkey toes like me, this works really well, okay? If it's not enough and you don't have any inflammation in the bottom of your foot, what you can do is take the right knee, lean back, and place it right into the arch of your foot, okay? And then give yourself a little massage back here. So if you guys were with us last week, we basically did this exact same thing, but we did it on standing with one of our rollers. So if this isn't working for you, if your body's like just all sorts of awkward right now, you can stand up, grab a hold of a tennis ball or something similar if you brought it, and you can stand and do a little rub on the ball, okay? Good, so you can do some flushing, okay? That's just kind of moving over the tissues right here. Or you can do what's called a pin and hold, where you find a spot, put a little pressure down there, take a couple of breaths, hold it, and then come back up. Take a couple more breaths right here. Do whatever method feels good to you. Remember, you have that toe raking one. Maybe go a little bit back and forth between the two. And then release. Come on to center. And we're going to do the same thing other side, but first let's take this one that we just stretched. Extend that leg back. It's been bent for a little while. Toes down, push through the heel. I'm just going to see how that feels right now after that movement. Okay, one more breath. And then same thing here. So we're going to take the left leg, shin crosses behind the right calf, right onto the right calf, so behind the shin. Okay, up toward the back of the knee, but not all the way into the back of the knee because it's a pretty sensitive area. So maybe a half an inch or so down, and then sit back. Okay, good. Come up, lower back down. Up, pin, hold, add a little bit of pressure. Good. And we'll show you another way to release the calves a little bit later on in class today using our handy rolling pin. Prop of the day. Someday I'm going to teach an entire myofascial release class using like baking tools. I think that would be amazing. Good. Enough of the quarantine baking. We're going to do something way cooler. All right. So make your way up and down the calf. When you get all the way up to the top, when you've had a chance to hit a couple of hot spots, we're going to go right into that right foot. So, again, you have the two options. Take the left toes, back of the right foot, rake it. Okay. This is a great option if you have a lot of tightness. I like to kind of go back and forth between the two. Since this is a little more of like a flushing technique, although, if you have monkey toes, you could really pin and hold a certain spot right here, kind of give that arch of the foot a little karate chop with your toes. And then if you want a little bit more, take the left knee, come back a bit, set the kneecap right into the base of the foot, right into the arch right there, and little massage. Okay, now I realize this is, for some of us, a lot of pressure onto the wrist. Ideally, we're getting a little bit of weight drop back there, but if that's the case, take a little break. Okay, circle out the wrists a little bit. Okay. If you have access to a low chair, a few pillows, or just like the side, like a couch, okay, you can always take this up a little bit and prop your elbows up on a couch or a chair, and that will also take some of the pressure off your wrists. Good, take a couple more breaths. Again, maybe doing a little pin and hold, so find a spot, add a little bit of pressure, stay there, take a breath. All right, don't forget to get the pad of the foot. Get right under there. You can even take that kind of a little bit down toward the toes, and then a little flushing. So just moving through the fibers. Maybe come back to the toes for this last breath. Good. Okay. Awesome job. Okay. And then one more time, we're going to extend the right foot back, toes to the ground, push through the heels. See how that feels. And just to even things out, same thing on the other side. And then back to center. So from here, we're going to tuck the toes under. You will have an option to flip them halfway through this next exercise, and we're going to sit up right here. Okay. So in yoga, we call this toe breaker pose. I'll come at an angle so you still kind of see what I'm doing right here. Okay. And then we're going to take a big inhale breath, reach the arms all the way up here. So weight is into the toes here. Good, and then as you exhale, hands come all the way down to the side. Root the palm of the left hand down, and the right ear is going to go over towards your right shoulder. Good. Okay, so if this feels really good right here, I want you just to hang. Otherwise, take your hand, and I don't want you to pull. We don't want to crank on the neck. Okay, but what you can do is use the weight of your forearm and just kind of flop it over your head and let that little bit of weight give you a little deeper stretch. Take a nice big breath right here. Nice big exhale. And then slowly release. Head to center. Hang there for one breath. Head to other side. So, left ear, left shoulder. Palm of the right hand presses down. Hang here or use the weight of that opposite arm. Flop it over the head. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. I forgot to tell you that you could have changed your foot position. So if you're hanging in there, just stay there. Okay, your feet will thank you for it. If you need to at any point, flop the toes back under. Shake it out. One more breath. And release. Come back to center. A little hang time. Good, and then go ahead and come up and into a tabletop. Before we go into down dog, slap your mat. Ah, much better. Good. Hands to the ground. Take an inhale breath here. Scoop the belly in. Roll the eyes of the elbows forward, and then hollow out your underarms. One more inhale breath. Tuck the toes. Exhale, down dog. Start with the knees bent, and then dropping one heel at a time, bend the opposite knee. And just kind of notice where your legs are at after doing those little bitty stretches at the beginning of class today. Okay, be mindful to press all 5 knuckle pads into your mat. That's going to help take some of that weight out of your shoulders. Push your weight back. And the more you can drop your heels to the ground, the deeper stretch you're going to get in the calves right here. You can even take one foot and hook it behind the other calf. And then do the same thing on the other side. Good. Keep pushing the space between the shoulder blades. So you see that little bit right there? I'm pushing into the space between my shoulder blades to activate some muscles other than just the ones in my shoulder right here. Scoop the belly, look forward, and then take the right foot all the way up toward the right hand. Right away, drop down to the left knee. Okay, toes can stay tucked. You can flip the toes under, whatever works for you. Okay, as you inhale, reach the arms all the way up at the same time. Lift up out of the dumping in the hips here. Arms reach. Good, and then as you exhale, left arm is going to sweep under the right. So you have 2 options. You can take an eagle wrap right here with the arms, or if that's not working, come into this big prayer position. So elbows, wrists, hands are glued together, and then everyone push into the space between your shoulder blades wherever you are, up and out a little bit. Good, now lift the pelvic floor. So we're drawing the front hip bones up towards your rib cage right here. Take a nice big inhale breath. Tuck your chin a little bit. Lengthen the back of your cervical, your cervical spine, the back of your neck. And then slowly release. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Then exhale, interlace the hands behind the back. Let the chest come through. Inhale here. Keep lifting the pelvic floor. And then squeeze your thighs together as you lean back. One more breath. and slowly release. Hands to mat or prop. Inhale here, exhale, drop the hips back, half splits. Okay, so this is our really first kind of big hamstring stretch. Hopefully we've loosened up some of that backline fascia right here, which is connected. So by loosening up the calves, maybe we're feeling a little more stretchy. Maybe not enough to feel it quite yet in the hamstrings, but that's okay. So if it's not super stretchy just yet, keep the knee bent. Okay, always an option to have a prop under the hands right here. Gonna take one more exhale breath. Awesome. Okay, as you inhale, come all the way up through center. Again, prop handy, walk this front foot all the way over to the outside edge of your mat, and then we're gonna let the knee butterfly out to the side. So I'm gonna show you this from the front as well so you can see what I'm doing here. Wide stance, inhale here, exhale, out to the side. Okay, so we call this, in my world, crooked monkey. I'm sure there's lots of other super fun names for this. Okay, so you can stay right here for a couple breaths. You're welcome to take your right hand to the knee, left hand maybe even down to a block or elbow to the block, and then just give that leg a little nudge, kind of finessing it, get it open a little bit more, maybe a big upward rotation through the upper back. And then come on back to center. Okay, hands can stay on prop or at least keep the prop handy. Come back to a runner's lunge. Tuck the back toes, inhale here. Exhale, lengthen through the leg. And then walk the hands to the opposite corner of the mat. So here's where that prop comes in really handy. If you have a block, feel free to use it right here. Down dog lunge. So I'm reaching for this, but my hips are moving in the opposite direction that I'm reaching. So I'm getting a nice big stretch through the upper back, through this down dog muscle that we use a lot right here. One more inhale breath here. One more exhale breath here. And then inhale all the way back up. Begin to walk toward the long edge of your mat, and then right away, pigeon the toes in. So in just a little bit, lift the kneecaps, inhale here, exhale, rotate the inner thighs back and fold. And then as you do that, scoop the belly. That's going to help protect your lower back, starting to get into the hamstrings here. So for this first one, let's keep it really gentle. We're going to grab a hold of the elbows, maybe even a little bend in the knees. Continue to rotate the thighs back, the inner thighs back, excuse me, and then take a little rock side to side. Releasing any tension we're holding on to in the neck. Okay, and then we just worked the arches of the feet, right? So let's start to re-engage them in a way that is really beneficial for our body. So I want you to lift the arches of your feet in this pose instead of letting them go flat. And then hands come back to center. Take an inhale breath, look up halfway right here. And then as you exhale, we're going to spin these back toes toward the back corner of your mat. Flip the front toes up and come into this nice little ninja looking pose, okay? This is a great place to have a little prop to sit on. So I'm going to use a lot of props in today's class to demonstrate for you guys. Love doing this because then I don't have to work so hard and I can just enjoy the stretch. Okay, and then extend this hand out. Take the right arm nice and high. Big inhale, open breath. And then exhale, roll over the back knee and take a runner's lunge on this side. Okay, right away, same thing we did on the other side. We're going to drop the right knee down. And then take an inhale breath as we lift the arms up, lift the pelvic floor. So come out of this dumping position right here. It feels good, but we want to work a little here too. And then exhale, this time right arm under left. So we're taking an eagle wrap on the other side, or that nice big prayer hand, elbows, wrists, and palms glued together. Push in between the shoulder blades. Draw the belly in, lift the fronts of the hips towards your rib cage. Inhale breath here. Exhale breath here. Slowly release. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, interlace the hands. This time opposite grip behind the back. Let the shoulders roll back and the chest come through. Squeeze the thighs together, lift the pelvic floor, and then lean back. Okay, nice big stretch through the hip flexors right here. Okay, people who say, oh, my lower back, that could be so many different things. So we're really trying to hit a lot of areas that can contribute to lower back pain. Good, slowly release, hands down to the mat, hips drop back, maybe with or without a prop. Little bend in the knee, hamstring release. Half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Okay. So, excuse me, while we do these stretches, I always want you to check back in with the belly. Sorry. Not because it's swimsuit season, because a whole lot of reasons. We won't go down that can of worms right there. But because one of the things that, again, can contribute to lower back pain, especially in these forward folding positions, is disengagement of the front muscles. So your back muscles get kind of like overstretched or overworked, and these ones aren't pulling their weight. So scoop the belly. That's going to help with that lower back right here. One more breath. Beautiful. Inhale. Come all the way back up. Grabbing that prop if you need it. Tuck the toes under. Push through the heel. Lengthen. Okay, grab your prop. Again, if you're using it, walk it out opposite corner of the front foot, down dog lunge. So the direction that your hands are reaching, your hips are moving in the opposite direction. Okay, nice big stretch through this big long muscle, your serratus on the side of your body. This one of your down dog muscles just feel really nice. Maybe the head drops through, maybe not. Keep pushing through the back foot. Give me 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now, before we walk around, let's, we almost forgot to do that butterfly stretch. Go ahead and drop the knee down. Wiggle the left foot over to the outside edge of your mat, and then let the knee butterfly out to the side. Don't worry, I got you covered. I'll try to make your body as even as possible. So you can stay right here. Remember, we have that option to come down onto a block, maybe with the elbow. And then you can take your left hand and coerce your leg to open just a little bit more. Maybe taking a little twist, rotating the rib cage up and through. Inhale, breath here. And exhale, breath here. One more time. Good, back to center. And then start out in that down dog lunge position. It's just a nice place to start. And then walk the hands all the way back to the center of your mat. Okay, toes spin in. Inhale, lift up just about halfway right here. And then exhale, pull the belly in, forward fold. This time, if you can take the bend out of the knee and really lift the kneecaps, engaging the quads, so activating the front sides of your legs is going to help stretch the back side. That's just like basic anatomy right there. Okay. So inhale here, exhale, really lift the kneecaps, engage the quads, feel that additional stretch in the back side of your body, and then lift the arches of the feet. If you want to, you can grab a hold of your ankles, give them a little nudge, and draw the crown of your head down. Okay, and then contrary to popular belief, if you can touch the ground with your head, instead of moving out to get a deeper stretch, what I actually want you to do is move the legs in a little bit, and then try the same thing. And then notice now my head doesn't reach the ground, and I'm feeling a nice big deep stretch in the back of my legs. Roll some weight forward for 3. Scoop the belly, 2. Relax the shoulders. Big exhale for 1. And release. Inhale. Go ahead and look up right here. Exhale. These front toes are going to flip toward the front corner of your mat. Maybe widen your stance if you shortened it. Back toes are going to flip up. Grab your prop if you're taking it, and plop your booty down. Nice. Okay, really hitting that inner thigh right here. Fly the right arm out, extend the left arm up. Big open twist right here. And then exhale, runner's lunge over the front leg. From here, go ahead and step the feet together. Inhale, breath, little look up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, roll through the spine. Inhale, take it all the way up to standing. And exhale, breath, hands come right into the heart. Good. Okay, so I'm going to show you from the front, but you can stay at the top of your mat right here. From the top of your mat, take your feet about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. Heels are going to come in and toes are going to come out. Okay, have your block handy. We're going to take an inhale breath and reach the arms up right here. Good. And then as you exhale, cactus the arms out. Nice big stretch across the pecs. Little lean back, belly pulls in, chest lifts, hands come to center for prayer. Begin to sink into a yogi squat. Again, option to grab that block and sit on right here. Okay, so we're still hitting the inner thighs. Okay, push the elbows in, stretch it out for 3, 2, and slowly release. So what we're going to do from here is extend the arms out, sit back, and then plant the feet on the ground as if you were doing a sit-up. Okay, we are going to do a little bit of ab work today. Again, one of the things about lower back pain or just back pain in general could be that we do a lot of stuff for the front side of our body and not as much for the back. So we're going to work on strengthening as well as stretching and releasing the back here. Plant the feet down nice and firmly, okay? And I want you to start with your hands behind you. Lean back a little bit just so you can feel the belly engaged, just enough. We don't need a lot. Scoop it in, lift the chest, relax the shoulders, and then one arm at a time, go ahead and reach them out. This is a really simple ab exercise, but I love it because so many people can do it. Okay, so from here, we're just going to rotate right arm forward, left elbow in, left arm forward, right elbow in. And that's it. And we're just going to go back and forth. We're going to do this for like probably close to 30 or 60 seconds right here because it's such a simple movement that a lot of times you don't feel it until you've been doing it for a while. Now, if you want to add a little spice to this, you can rotate a little more heavily and pull an elbow back. Okay, that's going to make it a little harder to add just a little bit of movement. You don't need a lot. Okay, this is something that you can do if you just have 5 minutes or 10 minutes to do some core exercises in your home office. You're also welcome to take a little weight into your hands or two. Okay, so adding a little bit of weight to this could make it a little bit more challenging. Okay, obviously I only have one water bottle, so we'll play a little swapping game right here. Okay, so we're about halfway there. This is another good one if you have kids who you're trying to get involved so that you can have 5 minutes of exercise a day. High fives. Play the high five game. High five. High five. Make them do it with you. You'd be surprised how many of your little ones, mine included, will find this amusing. You can also toss a ball back and forth to one another. All right, just make it fun. Throw a glass of water in their face, you know, whatever. I'm not joking when I say that, by the way. Okay, we've got about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, you got this, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. We're not done yet. Plant your hands on the tops of your legs. Push your legs away from you and resist the push. Resist the push. Chest is bright. Breathe. Maybe a little shaking right here. Give me 5 full breaths. 3 more. That's it. Push a little harder. Resist a little harder. Last big breath. Awesome job. Sit up and then roll all the way down. Keep your legs bent though. We're just going to windshield wiper, release the hips a little bit from side to side. Okay, now, probably should have told you this before, but if you don't have your block within reach, which I do not, roll up, grab it, roll back down. Okay? All right. So from here, we're going to take a bridge pose. So we work the front body. We're going to stretch it out a little bit now and work the back body. Work these opposing muscles so your body feels really supported day in and day out. Right here, plant your feet on the ground. And for this first, so we're going to use that block or prop that you brought. Again, water bottles work well, but you only want it to, you want it to be pretty slim so that you can keep your legs hip distance apart. If it's too wide, it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. If it's too narrow, it's also going to be an awkward position for your hips. Okay, so placing a prop in between your thighs, not necessary to have it if you don't, so don't worry. And all I want you to do is squeeze that block. So right away, you're going to feel your inner thighs fire up. Okay. And then push your heels into the ground. You're going to feel your glutes start to engage. So we're going to work our whole body with this pose. Plant your hands on the ground and then robot arms. Elbows down, palms up. Inhale, breath. Push the elbows into the ground. Lift the hips only. Start right there. Squeeze the block. Push the heels into the ground. Lengthen the tailbone. And then pop one shoulder blade at a time underneath your chest. And right away, you're going to feel your upper back start to work and eventually your lower back. Okay? Hip flexors are stretching. Keep squeezing the block. Push the heels into the ground. You're going to feel front and back side body working for 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Option to use or not use the block. That is going to be absolutely your choice, okay? So I'm going to use it because I love using props. Robot arms. squeeze your prop. If you're using it, push the heels into the ground right away. You could just stay here, and at least certain parts of your body are going to be working, okay? Inhale, breath, lift the hips, push the elbows into the ground. Lengthen the tailbone, squeeze the block. One shoulder blade at a time, pop the chest. Maybe plant your hands on the ground for this one. Squeeze the block, lengthen the tailbone, lengthen the back of your neck. For 3, push the heels. 2, and 1, lower down. Really nice job. Go ahead and remove your prop. Butterfly the knees out. Take a big breath here. Bring the knees back in. Hug them into your belly. Roll all the way up and grab a hold of your rolling pin. Okay, so I'm going to show you with both props in case you happen to have a similar type of massage stick at home. But honestly, they both will work just fine. Okay, so I'm going to lengthen my left leg out. We're going to work the right leg first. I'm going to grab a hold of my handy rolling pin right here. And because my hamstring is pretty loose right here, remember when you're lengthened out and you're stretching, that's not the greatest time to do some myofascial release. You want it to be pretty supple, pretty loose and ready for you, okay? So you can check it out, make sure your calf's about the same way. Grab this, tuck it underneath you, and honestly, all we're gonna do is roll, okay? I will say that this feels amazing when someone else is doing it for you. So if you have a willing partner, okay, don't forget, Mother's Day for all you moms is on Sunday. That's a great time to ask someone to do this for you. Be like, I would just like coupons for a year's worth of somebody else rolling out my hamstrings. I mean, isn't that such a nice gift for your kids to give you? And then just hand them a little ticket, like a raffle ticket every week and be like, here you go. The gift that keeps giving. Okay. So you can take this inner thigh, okay, outer thigh. Okay, so abductor, adductors, okay, ab. Okay. You can also take this down into the calf. Remember I showed you you're going to do another one today to help release the calf. So your calf's still a little achy, a little tight. Roll it out. Okay, another option right here. So I'm going to show you on the left, but stay on the right. Is you could, if you feel well balanced enough, place it right where the glute and the hamstring kind of meet, so pretty high up your leg. Prop yourself up and just hang right there. You can also roll down the leg. Pin, hold, breathe, roll. Pin, hold, breathe, maybe even lean a little bit right here. So I love this one if you have a nice thick rolling pin at home. If you have one of those like tennis balls or a rad roller, you can do that with this. Okay, there's lots of really great ways to release the hamstring. This is just, most people have that prop at home. If you have the tennis ball option or a rad roller like me, okay, you can do the same thing with a ball. And then if you need a little bit more, you're leaning forward. But just keep in mind right here, so I'm doing this. Notice my leg is lengthened, whereas when I was rolling it, my leg was bent. So my muscle is now at a more of a lengthened, stretched out position, which means that I'm still feeling a really good deep stretch, maybe even a little bit more because it's at that lengthened state, which means I just need to be a little bit more mindful, not to overdo it, not to go too deep. I also might notice that at some points I'm going to have to really lean into it to feel it, but at the same time, the more I lean, the more worked, like the more lengthened my muscle is. So it's just like finding a fine balance between the two. Okay, take one more breath with you rolling on one side, and then we're going to go ahead and switch to the other side. So if you're using the rolling pin method right here, okay, going to bend the leg, okay, and then just a little roll. I like this too because you can hit the IT band. Okay, while you're here, you can also get the top of the leg. Guys, rolling pin. Okay, this rad roller stick right here. Maybe you have another variation of this at home. I mean, we're here. You might as well hit a few areas. I'm all about making my 1 hour on my mat the most efficient hour as possible. Okay, you can hit the outside right here. With any kind of myofascial release, we've talked about this before. Want to stay off the bone, stay off of the zingers. Okay, if you're feeling any kind of, what do they call it? My daughter calls it glitter. I think she calls it glitter or sparkles. She says I have sparkles, like when her foot goes numb. So you don't want to get the zingers, the sparkly areas. That's usually nerve, and we don't want to get the hot spots. So injured areas, we tend to stay away. You can certainly massage around it. That's wonderful. Get the blood flowing around there, but we don't want to massage right on top of it. Let's be nice and gentle with our bodies. Take a couple more breaths again. If you're feeling pretty good, roll the tops, the quads right here. Okay, don't forget, you got your IT band right here, your iliotibial band. It's a big, big bunch of fascia that rolls all the way up here, connects knee to hip. Okay, this gets super tight on a lot of people, so roll that. I will say, and this is just my personal opinion, if you're gonna roll your iliotibial band, your IT band, for whatever reason, hit some of the surrounding muscles as well. Like, just don't just focus on that area, because if the other muscles are tight, the IT band may tighten back up again. So you might as well get all of them nice and loose. Okay, and then go ahead and release that down, and then we're gonna re-engage that we just worked. So I want you to come back down, this time without your block. We're gonna take another bridge pose right here. So plant your feet, push the heels, robot arms. Okay, keep engagement in the inner thighs even though you don't have the block, so you're pretending like you're squeezing a little something there. Take an inhale breath, push the elbows in, lift the hips, smooth out the curve in the lower back right here. And then start to shift your way over into the left leg. So you can pop the shoulder blades up and under, but not too much here. We want to stay nice and steady. And then extend the right leg up. Flare the toes. Stay here or give me 5 little lifts. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Foot down, lower down. Okay? Recommit. Inhale, push the heels, lift the hips. You can drop the hands at any point if that's comfortable for you. Shift your weight over and to the right. Really dig that heel into the ground. Lift the left leg up. Little bend is fine. Point the foot, flare the toes. Pull the belly in to support the back. Stay here or 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Foot down, lower down. Lower the hands, hug the knees in. Good. From here, roll all the way up. Clear your area if it's a hot mess like mine. And then through to tabletop. Okay, we got one more flow right here. So plant the hands, hollow out the armpits, so a little pushing in between the shoulder blades here. Roll the eyes of the elbows forward, pull the chest through, scoop the belly. Okay, so you feel like you're working and we're still on all fours. Tuck the toes, inhale breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, again, right away, little bend to start, and then pedal out the feet. Just kind of notice how you're feeling. Good. And then take the right leg up toward the right hand. Stay high up off the knee right here. We're going to take a little twist. So push through the heel, left hand down, maybe even on a prop. Pull the outer right hip back, and then reach the right arm high. Twist. Big inhale here, scoop the belly. Exhale, pull the bottom rib cage up and through a little bit more. Good. And then hands down. Spin the back foot flat. Cartwheel the arms open. Straighten out the front leg. Okay. Back toes point slightly forward, so this top hip drops forward just a little bit. Pull this front inner thigh out. Lift the kneecaps, arms wide. Stretch, 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 stretch. And then right hand high to the shin. You can also grab a prop. We're not going to go low for this triangle. Take the top arm up, and then right away I want you to knit your ribs together. Pull the front hip bones up, and then lengthen your tailbone towards your back heel. So we're still working the back and the belly at the same time. Again, training our body to use both sides to really sandwich and support the spine. Okay, inhale, breath here. Exhale, cactus this top arm, and then I want you to look right down at your right shoulder. And then tuck your chin in. One more breath. Good. Slowly release. Look up. Inhale here. As you exhale, spin the thumb towards your heel. Okay, so like you're high-fiving someone behind you, and then tuck the arm behind you. Okay, so the shoulder kind of drops forward a little bit. Push it back just a tad, and then this time right ear, right shoulder. Keep the belly nice and firm. Lengthen the tailbone. Lift the kneecaps for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Back up. Release. Inhale. Take it up. Switch sides. So we're just going to bump the feet so we're facing the opposite direction. Okay. From here, arms out. Lift the kneecaps. Okay. Stretch, stretch, stretch. So this front hip tucks back. Lengthen into a Trikonasana, a triangle pose. And we're going to keep it high. We don't want to go all the way down here unless it feels good in your body, and then do that, okay? And then right away, okay, pull the front hips, your ASIS, up towards your rib cage. Tuck the ribs together, lengthen the tailbone. Inhale, breath here. Exhale, cactus the arm. Look down toward your toes. Lift the arches of your feet. Tuck the chin in. For 3. One more breath. Last one. Good. Up here, high five the person behind you. Recommit. So relift the kneecaps, roll this front thigh out, fold the arm behind your back, and then ear to shoulder for 3, 2, pull the belly in, and 1. Good. Go ahead and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Bend into the front knee, cartwheel the arms, front knee now, but back knee, right? So we're facing the back of our mats. Cartwheel down, come into runner's lunge on the other side. Right away, tuck the outside of the left hip back. So bring the right hip forward, push into the ground. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale here. On the next inhale, bring your bottom rib cage up a little bit more. Rotate through, push through the back heel up. Yep, back heel. Like, what's that foot thing called again? Good. And then all the way back down. Good. Now from here, listen up. We're not going to step up. We're going to do a fancy move, as my kids would call it. It's very fancy. We're going to take this back foot, step up, through, sit down. Do you want me to show you again? Because I feel really fancy when I do this. Step up, through, and down. Another good one to show your kids. Makes you look really cool, okay? Take this bent leg, left over right. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, pull the knee in, twist. Okay, remember we talked about bringing the opposite ribs through. So we want to initiate the twist from our hips up. The neck is the last thing to turn. So your cervical and your lumbar spine are the most flexible. They try to overcompensate for this thoracic spine, which tends to be a little bit tighter, but for good reason. We have a lot of really vital organs, including our lungs, which are protected by our ribs. They all connect in at your thoracic spine, that upper mid-back. So it doesn't need to be super flexible, but we do tend to get tight there. Good, give me one more breath. And then back to center. From here, foot up and over. Okay, so this leg is nice and free. Plant the right hand down, inhale the left arm high. As you exhale, reach for the outside of this extended pinky toe. And again, this time thumb down. So high-fiving that person behind you. Flip the arm around the bent knee, okay? Now this is where that strap can come in really super duper handy, because if you don't have the flexibility to reach for the other arm, pretty sure I just lost a ball somewhere, okay? You can use your strap, swing it back there, boom, okay? And now we're nice and comfy, nice and upright. Okay, if you can make the connection between the hands, take it, maybe even take a little forward fold. I, for one, I'm going to work with my strap today because just being open and upright feels good. One more breath. And go ahead and release. Okay, from here, we're going to still work with this side. Scoot forward a little bit on your mat. Take your strap and then hook it around your foot. Roll all the way back. Okay, nice big hamstring stretch. Okay, so this is one very simple way keeping this bottom leg bent. Extending is going to give you a stretch for that hip flexor. You guys, if you want to be super fancy, I'll show you a really neat trick right here. Okay. I happen to have a loop, a big giant loop, with my strap. And I'm going to place one end around my foot. And you guys are going to laugh at me. I'm actually going to, remember like 80s sweatband right here? I'm going to place the other end right back here above my ears. And I'm just going to let my leg and my head kind of work together right here so that I don't have to do anything. Now, if you have a strap, what I will say, Make sure it's locked. Okay, you know I have to do the like pull up and through thing, because if it's not locked, this will be on America's Funniest Home Videos, because it will go boing. So next year for April Fools, you know what to do to someone you love dearly. Can always tighten this a little more if you need to. Take one more breath. If you have it behind the head, release it. Place it in your hands. Take the leg out to the side just for one big breath right here. And inhale back to center. Good. Okay, we're going to switch sides. But first, you can even use the strap. Bend the other leg. Sorry, frog in my throat. And use the strap to help pull you back up. Place it to the side. Switch legs. Good. Okay. So we're going to start with a twist. Leg up and over. Okay. Right hand down, left hand high. Inhale, breath. Exhale, hug it in. Okay, again, initiating the twist right here. Our neck wants to do it. Our shoulders want to do it. Start here. Ripple up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. You can bring the elbow outside the knee here and give it a little nudge, but try not to let your shoulders drag you into the twist. Head and neck, the last thing. Flex this extended foot for 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Leg comes back up and over. So this leg is free. Left leg is free. Left hand is down. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, try to saw off your pinky toe right here. And then thumb down, high five the person behind you. Flip the arm back. Grab your strap if you're using it. I'm going to use mine today. See if you can get it into both hands right here. And then sit up nice and tall and do a little twist right here. And so I like this because I get a little counter twist, but I also am working the back muscles. I don't know if you guys can feel it, but I can feel my upper and mid back really working in this pose. I'm scooping my belly to help maintain support for my whole torso right here. And I'm getting a nice little shoulder stretch as well. One more breath. Relax the sides of your neck. Come back to center. Grab your strap, and then right away, if you're going to go into the head one I told you, I have a nice big loop. This is secure. I told you Manduka makes like giant straps right here. Dish towel works, maybe not so much for the behind the head thing. And then scooting forward, lie back. You can keep the knee bent right here. You can extend the leg flat. This will stretch out your hip flexor right here. If you're doing the behind the head sweatband thing, get yourself set up. We want it above the ears, behind the head, and then you can lengthen the leg and let your body do the work. And we're going to hold this for a couple of breaths. Good. Take just a couple more right here. Okay. At any time, you can always bend the knee a little bit, especially if you feel like the back of your knee is straining. We don't want to overstretch that area too much. Good. And take about one more big deep breath. Strap in hands. Guys, you can always hang out in these poses as long as you'd like if they're really resonating with you. Okay, this video is available for the next 24 hours on Instagram and for, eternity on my YouTube channel. So you can always check back in if you want to do it again or if you feel like you missed something. Leg over to the side. Take one more breath right here. Good, and then inhale. Back to center, little bend in the knee. Let's go ahead and stay down now. So release the strap. Place it over to the side. Get yourself nice and comfy right here. Good. Okay. And then in order to unwind, we're going to take a little engagement, disengagement exercise. So first, get yourself comfy. If you're using any props for your Shavasana today, get a hold of those. Maybe a little cushion for the head or the hips. And then, excuse me, from here, begin to engage the ankles. So flex them. Flex, 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 flex. And release. Wiggle the toes a bit. And then release. Yeah. Lift the kneecaps. Feel the leg as a whole, but maybe even point the toes and feel the calves really kick in right here. Hold that. Should feel like you're almost jumping on a trampoline. Your legs are working so hard. And then release. Let them just kind of flop open right here. Moving into the glutes. Okay, squeeze your tush. Maybe even pop off the mat a little bit. Lengthen the tailbone, draw your hips up for 3, 2, and release. Let everything kind of melt down right there. Scoop the belly in on the next exhale breath. And pretend like someone's about to punch you in the stomach. So really squeeze right here for 3, 2, and release. Clench your fists. And release. Straighten your arms. Pretend like you're Frankenstein. Maybe the size of the neck's kicking right here. And then release. Okay, bite down. So pretend like you're gnawing on a piece of beef jerky or some sort of hard piece of dried fruit right here, and just gnaw on it. And then release. Shoulders hunch up into the ears. Just kind of get that like uncomfortable stage fright. Oh my goodness. Maybe even crinkle your eyebrows. And then slowly melt into your mat. And let's all take another breath right here together. Big inhale through the nose. Big sigh through the mouth. Shavasana. Wherever you're at, start to wiggle the toes and the fingers. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Maybe let the head drop side to side. When you're ready, roll over to the side of your body. Push up to a seat. And bringing hands to heart center. Hopefully feeling a little taller and a little stronger. But also just at peace with where we're at today. We'll draw a close to our class with a united breath. So release any air in the body on this next exhale. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.